Welcome to Wellraiser Radio. I'm your host, Joshua Coburn, and with me, as always, is the real Bala, Shane Scala.
I love how
sipping his tea.
Yeah, sipping his
Gently
tea over
sipping
there.
his tea.
Delicious.
And my main man, Simon, the Sandman.
Nice dramatic pause.
Sandboard. Yeah.
My kids saw that today, like Sandman. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's kind of cool. I was like,
The Sandman.
he's always
Yeah.
got a good tagline. I like it.
Yeah, he always puts us to sleep too, kids.
Oh, that's honestly, that's not what I was thinking. My thoughts were that he always brings me a dream. Huh? Because he's
Well,
dreamy.
That was kind of
gross and creepy.
well, that was kind of
well.
reaching.
Oh,
No, it's just creepy.
I'm just kidding.
all right. We should probably move on.
All right, let's move on.
All right. So
Edit that
today's
all out.
guest is James Ramsey. He's a model and an amputee, a musician. Most well known for his nude photo with his significant other Heidi, holding a slice of
Pizza
pepperoni
slices.
pizza. Yeah, in front of their genitals, which is attractive. I mean, nudity, tattoos, and pizza. What better?
When I saw the picture, though, I was kind of like going, well, I mean, that's cool. But I was like, why is it, nowadays, why is it controversial?
I don't know that it is controversial, is it?
Just got.
I don't think it was necessarily controversial, but it was one of those things where you see it and you're drawn to two things. One, they're naked. Two, he's an amputee,
Right.
right?
And an Army veteran, which I skipped over earlier. I'd like to call out. Go ahead.
All right. But you are, to me, I was alarmed by not the amputee.
Alarmed, even.
Alarmed. I wasn't alarmed by the nudity or the amputee. What I was alarmed at was the instant idea that this guy has so much self-confidence as somebody that has an amputee, that is an amputee, that was shocking to me. I was like, God damn right, rock that shit. That's what I liked more than anything, was just that I'm here, I'm laughing. He's got a smile on his face,
Right.
goofing with his girl. And I thought, that's awesome. That's what was shocking to me. Because I think more often than not, people are very insecure,
Yeah. Self-critical.
self-critical, for sure.
Do you think you can go both ways? Can you be like, once something, it's like the things that you worry about, and once you get past that worry, you realize it's not a big deal. Do you think that once you get past the idea of like, oh, I have this, disability or whatever you want to call it, and once you recognize it, deal with it, move on, then you're like, oh, it's really not that big of a deal. I think it's one of those things too, where you get to the point where it becomes just who you are. What are you gonna do? You're still a guy.
Yeah,
Still
exactly.
walk around. I mean, nothing changes very much. So I think you just
Yeah,
get to
but
the
that
point
could
where you
be
get past it.
that can be a seriously crippling to your self-esteem.
Yeah,
And I do
devastating.
mean that pun. I do mean that. It can be totally crippling.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
what? I'm just saying, like, some people can't they can't get out of the house.
No, I'm
They
still back on crippling. I got it. Go ahead. Like, cold, man. That's cold.
But it does affect some people's lives, and they become a shadow of themselves.
Indeed.
They really become introverted. And for instance, you liked the way you looked when you were a kid and you were getting tattooed, but you had very low self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
And you had a very hard time leaving your own apartment.
Right.
This can be a cage, and him getting into a motorcycle accident and losing his leg, that can be a cage to some people. Yet he embraces that.
Yeah, I would agree. I think you're right. I think a lot of people, it's that mindset thing.
Right.
You either, like, to your point, you either accept the fact that this happened and I'm going to make lemonade out of the lemons,
Right.
or I'm not. I'm going to suck on the sour lemon.
Right.
And
I think it's more I shouldn't say more common. I think now, because they have such amazing prosthetics, they have the fucking coolest prosthetics.
Oh,
And so I think nowadays, not that you want to lose a leg for a prosthetic, but nowadays I think once you get past the shock of, oh, I've lost a limb, at least now you can be like, oh, wait a second, I can get a blade on my leg.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Have you seen that? I forget her name. I should have wrote it down, but she's a major model now, and she has a prosthetic hand, and
Yeah.
she has all these different prosthetics hands that are the coolest.
Yeah, I got to get her on the
prosthetic
show. I
hands.
know
It's
you're
really
talking about.
neat. And so I think after a while, you just realize that you can still do the things you need to do.
right.
And you can still function like everybody else can. You just have a different appendage than somebody else does.
Yeah, and
But go ahead.
I mean, when I think of, I'm still of an age, or I still remember the days of the hooks.
Yeah, I love that.
Sure.
The solid wooden leg that didn't give. That when people walked, it was really, you could tell that they were uncomfortable. So to see where prosthetics were and where they are now, just in that short 30-year time span, I would say probably even in the last 20 years, it has just gone through the roof on how.
And for me, based on where it was, where it's at now, the one thing that's still in common though is the acceptance of the lost limb, or in his case, a lost limb and a hip replacement, and then that road that you have to travel to get to where you had mentioned about kind of feeling like you're back to quote normal a little bit.
Right.
So there's a recovery period. You got to relearn a lot of things. That is where I think mentally that you were talking earlier, it either becomes a cage or you kind of accept the challenge. I'm curious to see what James has to say about that period. What was his mindset? Is there a process? Is it like, first I went through terrible depression, and then I did go through, not wanting to leave the house or the hospital or whatever, and then it's like, F this, I'm Rocky and I'm going to go run the stairs.
Right.
Did that all happen? I don't know. I'm curious to find that out for sure.
Looking through the Instagram photos of him and his lady and how much fun they have together, it reminded me a lot of, I found close comparisons to Yeti and YOLO.
Oh, nice.
And what I'm curious about is, did he show her how to be more expressive and more confident? Did she help him, or were they both on their own track and they found themselves together because they were living their own lives very powerfully as individuals, like Yeti and YOLO?
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, the whole behind every successful man is a even better woman, and vice versa. That'll be interesting to figure it out, because damn it, that's a pretty massive kind of I guess thing that we discuss. You mentioned a lot the whole like spotter occasionally on the show, like who's your person you go to. Obviously, for those two, it's one another.
Right.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Commendable.
And I think that unless you can get to a point where you know who that spotter is, that's where that life-changing thing happens. When you find that spotter and you realize, oh, wait a second, this is what they're talking about. This is the support you're supposed to have. This is the love and care and nurturing you're supposed to have. Mm-hmm. That's what makes you go, oh, this is my spotter.
Yeah, because you kind of become a superhero, because it's like, oh, I'm shit. I don't feel right about things. But then you have somebody to remind you, hey, but what about all this stuff? And then suddenly it's like you see yourself and life in such a different light.
Yeah, my lady said to me just the other night, she goes, I feel like we have such a solid foundation together that anything's possible. No matter what problem happens with the kids, no matter what goes on in our lives, we have this solid foundation, anything is possible. And that's that spotter. I mean, I still think that's like, we need to get a t-shirt that says hashtag who's your spotter or something.
I like that.
That's such a great analogy.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that a lot. But your stunning good looks also help with excelling in life.
You're such a sweet man.
I think, were you talking to him or are you talking about James?
Well, everybody involved. I mean, let's be honest. I'm not even sure how people actually watch this show for those viewers, because, with the level of uber sexiness like that happens on the show.
It just oozes.
I know.
It does ooze sometimes.
Basking, as it were, in one another's musk.
Oh,
you know what?
I don't like that at all.
I'm going to throw out the creepy card. I'm going to throw out the creepy card.
That was the creepy card right there. You got the creepy card.
I'll accept this show because every other show it's been on you. So I'll take it.
Yeah, for sure.
And at least it was with you guys and not the guests.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
I'm still planning to get creepy.
Well, with what was Patrick Lomantini, he got all like fanboy on us like mid-show. So
he did. He went a little bonkers.
The last couple of shows.
Yeah, I really get a lot out of watching people figure out who they are halfway through their lives.
Right.
Not giving up on, this is who I am.
Well, and what that does for me, and I think I probably mentioned it on this podcast before, is that it's never of what happens to you throughout your life. It is how you handle what happens to you in your life. That's what it comes down to. And so when you meet people like Mina, or you meet people like Patrick who say, "Oh, I'm in this position and I'm going to change it," or "I've been around long enough to realize that it just doesn't matter. I need to do it. I'm passionate about what makes me happy and do those things." I've always talked about how I like these movies that have like a storyline where somebody turns around and changes their life and they become a better person.
Over the top.
I like that because I think it shows that we all have terrible mistakes we make. We all have down times. We all have good times. But at the end, it's how we feel about ourselves and how we move forward every day. And that's why I think this show is impactful, because that's all we talk about. And for kids to see that, for kids to know, I can make a huge mistake and be okay. You know, I can have a huge stumble. I can get kicked out of school. I can get expelled. I can have a terrible thing happen to me. But then tomorrow, okay, I'm going to start over again and see what I can do differently.
Right.
Exactly. Get up,
and
dust off.
For every single person, tomorrow, you are not who you are yesterday. I am not who I was yesterday.
Right.
You're not who you were yesterday. Every day, you're changing, evolving. You might have something that you're really into today, and you might have a mission today. 6 months from now, you're on a completely different mission. You're equally happy. Like, the target continually changes. It's always going to change for every single person. So to feel like, or to think that you need to have only one goal. I need to be this one thing when I grow up. I need to be this one person. It's silly. It's unrealistic. I was watching Lolly Galvin on Instagram. She was doing a live show feed this afternoon, and she was talking about taking care of John, and he was going to be getting out of the hospital and checking in on him. And I thought, just from the time that she had been on the show, how she was going to travel the United States and dignity bags.
Yeah,
and
which
how,
she did. Yeah.
How much has her path changed since then?
Right.
And the fact that, you know, the target changes, but she and most everybody else, they're leveling up each time too. It's like, you know, she got this guy off the street. He got surgery. He's got a home. Check it out if you get a chance. Lolly Galvin at Real Humanist on Instagram. You can check out her feed. You can check her out on Facebook and everything else too. But she's doing an amazing thing for the homeless in Philly and all over the United States. So check that out. But what do you guys think? Should we get James on the horn here and
let's do it
and dive in?
Yep.
Sorry, didn't mean to throw you off. Yeah, I'm good.
All right, so welcome to Wellraiser Radio, James. Awesome with the thumbs up. So we're actually really pumped to have you on. I mean, you're an Army veteran, correct?
Yep.
Thank you for your service. That's pretty great.
Thank you.
And you know what? Speaking of that, actually, because I'm curious, let's just dive into that real fast. We've had conversations on this show. Would people say thank you for your service? Is that something you appreciate? Does it seem insincere? Is it a pain in the ass to deal with? How do you feel about that?
You know, I appreciate it, but like, you don't need to thank me, because I mean, I enlisted myself and I got paid. You know, like, it was like a job for me. It's like, hey, thanks for doing your radio show. You know, like,
nice. Still feels
I mean,
good.
to me, that's the way it feels. It's just like, yeah, okay. I mean, it's not like I don't see it as like a big sacrifice. At least I didn't feel like it was a big sacrifice for me, you know.
Yeah. When did you serve? What years?
It was 2000 to 2006.
Oh, wow. So those kind of scary times right around that period, huh?
Yeah, it was. I was actually in Fort Hood, Texas, when the towers fell. I was on CQ, and in the main building or whatever, watching the news or something, and then like a cut, and then I seen one of the planes hit the tower, and I was like, "Damn,
That's
what an
intense.
idiot!" And then it wasn't like an accident; it was a terrorist attack, and I was like, "Shit."
Right. So, I mean, what was going through your head at that time? I mean, I was like fresh out of high school, so I'm like, that's it. I'm getting drafted. It's over. Where was your head at? I mean, you were in at that point.
Yeah, I was already like 2 years in, and then I re-enlisted after. Actually re-enlisted after that, so I could go to the 173rd Airborne in Vicenza, Italy, and like then I went to Iraq and then Afghanistan.
Intense. So
yeah, I was with the 173rd Airborne, and those guys. I was in the 2nd and 503rd. All those guys are studs, man.
nice, but you're not a stud?
I mean, there's a lot better, cooler studs than me when I was in stuff.
Humble. We
Now,
like that.
How did you like jumping out of airplanes?
The first time I did it, like I was in airborne school in Fort Benning, Georgia, and it was like
powder.
You get,
It's like baking
your
powder.
after you get your all your shit on, and then you sit there for hours until it's your time to jump. So by the time it was time to go, I had to piss so bad. I just wanted to get on the ground so I could urinate.
Right. Like that's how it was. I was in the 82nd Airborne, and jump school at Benning was like jumping into baby powder. It was very soft. And you're right. It takes so long to get all your equipment on that your pain, the pain from your bladder supersedes your fear of jumping out of a perfectly good aircraft. And everybody's just in a rush to get out.
Yeah, because they don't want you to go take a piss after they do all their checks, because then they got to check you again,
Right.
And if that one person do that, there's going to be like 1,000 other dudes trying to go take a piss. So
Who knew? Maybe that's their plan. It's just like you want the ground so badly. There's no fear, right?
Right.
Just get out so you don't piss yourself.
Well, I mean, we're obviously talking about your veteran status, but you do a lot of other things. You're a musician, a model, right? And like, tell us a little bit about how you kind of got into the whole modeling thing. Because if based on kind of my general research in 2006, right, is when you lost your leg.
Yeah.
And how did that happen?
I lost it in a motorcycle accident, actually. I'd flown home, just got back from Italy, and got on my motorcycle and hit a guardrail doing 70. So that'll do it.
Yeah, that's intense. And that's a long road from laying, were you in the road? And what was the status? I mean, in that moment.
I was driving down the road, and then I went to go around a corner, and I don't really remember what happened. All I remember is the bike kind of wobbling a little bit, and then I woke up in the hospital a few days later. But I lost my right leg below the knee, and then I shattered my pelvis and clasped my right lung, and then they amputated my leg above the knee at like mid-thigh, just because that's where the femur's last break was. So everything was just kind of so messed up underneath that, or below that, they couldn't save it. So.
Do you find, or is it irritating that people might associate your amputated leg with possibly something that happened overseas while you're in the service? Do you get asked that a lot?
I do, actually. Cause, it's because of my age, and it happened so close to when I was in the service. It actually sucks for me, because they're like, "Oh, did you lose your leg overseas?" And I'm like, "No, I was an idiot the day I got home and lost it." So.
But you can't be an idiot. It's an accident,
Yeah.
And like you said, you don't know exactly what happened. So, it's an accident.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's a long time ago, and I'm doing all right now, so it doesn't really matter.
Hell yeah.
You're doing just a little bit better than all right. When I see your Instagram posts of you doing a squat with 225 pounds, and I'm thinking he's doing that with one leg. That's like
it's a box squat. It's not like a real squat,
I know, but still, a lot of people can't even bear to have that much weight on them, and they're just standing, let alone go down on basically one leg.
Yeah, it's I tried doing it without my prosthetic on, but I find that it's just so much more easier to balance, with it. Like I'll do like full squats in the Smith rack, whatever, without my prosthetic on, but most of the time when I'm doing free weights, I use my prosthetic just because I need the balance,
Sure. Well, speaking of fitness and everything, that's a long road from an accident laying in a hospital bed to hitting the gym, and then ultimately having enough self-confidence to have photos taken of you, especially as exposed as you are. I mean, what was your mindset in the beginning? Like laying in the hospital, just kind of figuring out what happened. Where were you at mentally?
Well, let's see. I woke up, and the doctor came in. He's like, "Hey, you lost your leg, and you broke your pelvis, and you collapsed your right lung, so you got a little bit of recovering to do." And I was like, "Okay, well, what do I got to do?" And they're like, "Well, after you heal from your surgeries, you're going to get, fitted for your prosthetic and all that stuff." So I was just like, okay. And that was kind of it. That was just like the next thing I had to do for me. Like, I'm not trying to sound like a cool, tough guy. Like, it didn't bother me, because it sucks. having one leg, you know.
Right.
But I looked at it more as just like something else I had to overcome to get to where I wanted to go, you know.
So is it a focus on like the next challenge? Not, obviously you weren't, or maybe you were, I don't know, thinking about, standing half naked with pizzas over your vagina or your penis.
My
and
vagina?
her breasts and vagina and your penis, excuse me. We are going to create a complex for you.
Gideon, you got a vagina.
Oh man, I'm sure you're a very well endowed man. So let's go ahead and move on, right? So, so I'm sure when you're laying or when you're just discovering this, thinking about just the next thing, or did you have a goal like I got to get to the gym? I want to do modeling or whatever it was. I mean, or was it just like I got to complete this next round of therapy or this next thing? Where were you at with that?
Like after I got out of the hospital, I was in the hospital for a week and a half, and then it took me probably another 6 months or maybe a little longer to be healed up enough to get my prosthetic fitted. And I don't know if every amputee goes through this, but I was like, man, I can't wait to get my prosthetic because then I'm just going to be up and moving around again, and then I don't have to, and I was always like really concerned with like not letting people know I had one leg, like, or whatever. It was just an insecure thing that I had. So it was just a long time ago, and it was just like whatever. But when I was laid up in bed, man, I was laid up for 6 months, and all I did was lay there and watch Law and Order and Discovery Channel. I was like, God, it wasn't very long ago that I was road marching and with my all my Army buddies and doing all that stuff, super active. And now I'm sedentary, I weigh 120 pounds. 6'4", 120, like
Wow,
skinny. And so I just started doing push-ups next to the bed to get kind of like back in shape again, because I was like, when I was in the Army, I could do 100 push-ups in 2 minutes. And then when I got out after my accident and all that shit, when I finally started doing push-ups again, I was only doing like 10 and that was it,
Yeah, your platform's a little different too, though. At that point, I mean, you're not as stable as you once were, and processing all that. God damn, I can't even imagine.
Just with the shattered hip, and I mean that alone, you have one leg, and a lot of people do push-ups when they cross their feet over each other, you know. But
yeah,
just that shattered hip and that unstabilized and the pain. Yeah. Ugh. Anyway, James, that's all right.
Did you jump us?
He just dropped the phone is all. But
Right.
James, I wanted to ask you something. When I look at you and I consider what you've been through, there's 3 like really huge things that hit me right away. One, your passion for your playing of your instrument, right? You're in the band. You're really good with the guitar, or is it the bass? Do you play the bass or the guitar?
Jeez, where are you at?
Okay, but you're really good with that. You're good enough with that you're playing in a band, so you have a huge passion for that. You have just a few tattoos, and and you have an enormous focus on developing your body, right? Were those things what came in what order, and did you use any of those things as a distraction from dealing with an amputated leg, or have you always had those passions?
That's a good question. And now that you bring it up, I think that is pretty accurate. Maybe I did use it as a distraction from having an amputated leg, Like, it's a lot easier to put all your energy into something else than dealing with your own problems sometimes.
Right, because you don't just have like a couple of really neat tattoos. Your entire back is covered. Your entire body is covered, and it is an art piece. And you've taken that art piece and put it out to the world with modeling, and you've embraced what some people would be so insecure to show.
What you mentioned earlier, that you were insecure in showing initially, right?
Well, yeah, and that didn't even really, it was like, that was all the way up until I started modeling, was pretty much, it was like I never would wear shorts to the gym or anything like that. And, it wasn't because I was ashamed of having one leg. I just didn't want to be perceived as weak,
Mm-hmm.
So I would always be doing things to overcompensate. So you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
100%.
And so did that take you to the point where so you took one step, you got past it, and then all of a sudden you just realized it just didn't matter anymore, and so that allowed you the freedom to kind of just leap and go into the modeling kind of thing? Is that kind of what led you to that?
Well, the modeling thing actually kind of happened just literally by accident. I know everybody fucking says that, but like I was tagged in a post for Michael Stokes, and then I was just like, dude, like your work is awesome because he's doing a lot of work with veterans and and all that stuff because he had a few books out before I started working with him, and he actually messaged me back. This dude at the time he had like 500,000 followers on Facebook, and I had like 100 followers on Instagram, so I was like, I'm nobody,
Right.
And he goes, hey, I like your look. Would you be interested in shooting? I was like, well, now I got to research this guy because I don't know this dude. Like,
Right.
I don't want to be tied up naked in some old guy's basement, So I did a little research, and it turned out when I figured out like who he was, it was like a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's a huge deal, man. That's awesome because he's in LA, right?
Yeah. So
nice.
Like for me to go down there, I got to shoot with him, for free. I didn't have to pay because I was part of the project he was working on, and it was like a really weird moment for me because I had like 2 months to get ready to go be ready for this shoot, and all the dudes that he's shooting are like jacked and ripped and all this stuff, and at this point I was like not in shape at all, and I gotta hit the gym, so I hit it hard for like 2 months. Went down there and shot with him, and then after that first shoot, when he released the first photo, like I had just made my Facebook profile, and I got like 12,000 followers in the first day or something, or the first week or something crazy like
Amazing.
that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it was just like, wow, like nobody sees it as a weakness; they see it more as a strength. It seems like
100%. I would agree with that.
Well, you went from I need to check this guy out, and I'm nervous about this photo shoot because I might get tied up and put in somebody's basement. You go from that feeling and to let's journey down the road a few months. Now you and your lady are bare. You're laid bare, and when I look at those photos, you can't fake confidence, and you can't fake having a good time.
True.
Or
being comfortable.
Do you think you would be that comfortable and that confident without your spotter, without your special lady being there having fun with you?
Oh, absolutely not, man. She has helped me a lot since I started doing more like modeling and stuff. And she's always like, you got to be making more videos and you got to be doing all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, you're right, but I'm lazy. But she's always, dude, like every publication she gets, it's all her because she self-submits everything. Like we recently just started doing most of our own shoots, and we got a camera, and I've been shooting her a lot. And like her first set just got published that I shot, which was awesome. And I only started doing photography like a year ago.
That's so great. Congratulations. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Was that the one that?
Amazing, dude. She works so hard.
Was that the one that was just posted today?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So what's her Instagram so those listening can check it out? Do you know off the top of your head?
It's just Heidi Lavon, HeidiLavon.
Awesome. Yeah, because you're right. She's always knocking out the quick stories. There's like 1,000 of those every day, man, all the time.
I don't even barely look at her Instagram anymore. I can't watch all the stories. I'm like, babe, everybody knows you're brushing your teeth.
But you're living it, man. You're living it.
But it didn't happen unless I posted it.
Truth. So to backtrack a little bit, I mean, with that confidence, when you showed up with this dude who's like, major photographer, did you walk in like, I mean, you're confident obviously in yourself. You worked hard to look like you look. Mentally, you're probably ready. But if you hadn't really modeled, it's like, do you toss out the blue steel? Like, what do you do?
One of the hardest things for me to do in modeling or when I'm doing a photo shoot is to look at the camera. I hate looking at the camera because I always feel like I got like either just a complete like serial killer blank expression on my face. Like this,
Right.
They're like, look happy, and I'm like, I'm happy.
Life is good, except that I murdered 10 hookers. Right.
Picked 2 babies and a dog on the way in.
Oh man.
No, but I don't like. To be honest, modeling for me is not really my thing. I mean, I do it and I enjoy it, but if I had I don't really like modeling a whole lot. But I do like doing my fitness and my guitar stuff, with my band. So
what is your main occupation then? I mean, because you do the band, you do modeling, you work out like a beast, and your lady is constantly putting stuff on the internet as being a social media presence. So how do you? What's your thing that pays the bills?
Well, man.
Badassery.
Badassery, yeah.
I mean, come on.
Well, I mean, people have a lot going on, and sometimes, James, if you just had a run-of-the-mill job and you're doing all these other things, that's also inspiring to people who may be saying to themselves,
Indeed.
you know what, I don't have time to do all this stuff. Well, hold on a second.
I will say this. Right now, I don't have a normal run-of-the-mill job. I'm able to survive off of what I do, which is good. Before, I was married before, and I have a son. And when me and my ex lived together, I would get up at 4:30 in the morning. I'd meal prep, and then I would go to school at 7 downtown Portland from Sandy, which is like a 40-minute drive. And then I would go to work right after school, and then I would go to the gym. I'd still go to the gym every day, and I still got all my homework done.
Awesome.
I graduated with honors and perfect attendance.
Hey, congratulations.
Did
Yeah,
you
that
have that
rules.
type of motivation? Did you have that type of drive before the military, or would you attribute that type of drive to the military for the grades and the
I
drive
think
for
it
that?
was a combination of both. I've always been an early riser, in the morning. I always get up early or whatever. But when I was in the Army, I'd actually have to get up early and then go do a bunch of shit. And then when I got out after my accident, I couldn't do anything for a long time, really. So it was when I finally was able to start get moving again and start doing shit, I was mostly hard charging all the time, because I don't like feeling sedentary,
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you brought up your band, which is melodic death metal, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally my wheelhouse. Obviously, I look like it's my wheelhouse, right, compared to these dudes. So the band name is, how do you say the band name specifically?
Boudica.
Boudica.
Boudica. Yep.
Excellent. And do you have a website?
We got our Facebook and our Instagram, which is just, on Facebook, it's just Boudica Metal. And then on Instagram, it's Boudica Official.
Excellent. And a Flying V guitar player, correct? I mean, why not?
I do have a Jackson RR1 and a Explorer. So.
Very nice, very nice. So, give us a rundown of the band. How did that start? Where's it headed? I know you guys have done a crap ton of shows with a lot of great bands, but where are you guys at currently, and where to start?
Well, currently we just finished our demo that we're giving to our band representative. His name's Michael Lago. If you've never heard of him,
I know
Google.
Michael.
That dude signed Metallica back in the 80s.
Absolutely, I'm familiar.
Yeah, so it's
That's
cool
awesome.
when he hit me up and he asked to hear our music, and since then we recorded another demo and we're going to send it to him and see how that goes. And then we got a new T-shirt design. We got several tours coming up this year, so things are going pretty good.
If
Excellent.
you had one thing to do, would music be it? If you had to choose,
That would be it.
That would be it.
That would be it, without a doubt.
Awesome. So are you guys, heading through the Midwest at any point, so you can totally hit up the studio with us and actually chill in house? Because that should happen.
Dude, give me your studio's info, and I'll see if we're going to be in that area.
Hell yes, that would be awesome.
Be
Because
cool.
we always try to hook up with any guests that we have on the show in person, which at this point we've done quite a bit. We have some coming up in Vegas and a few others, and a few that are actually coming to us. So that's pretty sweet. So if we can add you to the list, that would super rule for sure.
Absolutely, man. If we come rolling through, we'll stop in.
And where do you get these T-shirts at?
Oh, we haven't made them yet. I just got the design yesterday.
Awesome. Well,
Nice.
right,
Available
well-
online, I assume.
Well, maybe. I don't know yet.
Gotta keep them at shows only. That's
Well, when we're touring, every shirt we got is like gas money,
Oh,
So
totally.
yeah. I do
Yeah.
that.
we're
Right.
we're poor. You don't make a lot of money in metal, that's for sure.
No, that's the rough life, man, for sure. The sweating it, the duct tape shoes, the whole thing. I know all about it.
Dude, yeah, you definitely do it because you love it. It's not because you're making money.
Yeah.
Now, James, I had a question for you. We have our second interview was with a couple, Yeti and YOLO, and their big thing was about each of them finding their own passions and being strong individuals going through life, and they met each other only because they figured out what they love to do solo. So I'm curious, did you meet your special lady because you were doing what you were passionate about and she was doing what she was passionate about and you guys came together that way? Or did she inspire you or did you inspire her?
It was like a fluke, actually. It was completely by accident because I was literally getting ready to go to LA my first time to shoot with Michael Stokes, and I had never shot anything before. Never done any modeling at all. This is my first time, and then a mutual friend of Heidi and I that I knew her for a while before I met Heidi, and Heidi had known her for a while before she met me. And she was like, "Hey, you should shoot with our friend House. She has a online whatever thing, and it'd be good, you know, if you get to get a little under your belt before you go to LA." And I was like, "Yeah." So I get a hold of House, and she's like, "Yeah, that's great. I want to have you shoot with another model too. It's Heidi Levon." And I had been following Heidi already, of course.
Who doesn't?
And I messaged her and I was like, "Hey, it seems like we might be shooting together. And before we get too like naked, you want to like have a salad or something before we, you know, just get to know each other. So I just show up and everybody get, you know, to shoot or whatever." And she's like, "Yeah." And then ever since then, we've been inseparable.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. I mean, what a great story.
Yeah, I mean, that reminds me of Yeti and YOLO.
Yeah,
right?
if you don't follow them and anybody else is listening too, at the Jeep called Yeti and at the Wild YOLO, check them out. You will be inspired. No joke. They're an amazing couple, just like you guys, doing things on separate Instagrams, but you know, crossing over a lot and really inspiring the shit out of everybody. It's awesome if you get a chance to check them out for sure.
Dude, I don't know if this is gonna get a lot of hate, but I feel like it's weird when people like share an Instagram. You know what I mean?
Totally.
They're
Yeah.
like Jenny and Joe's Instagram. I'm like, what?
Nah, it might get a lot of hate, but it is a little like overprotective-y. Like, look, there's no trust, so I got to see who's
Dude,
DMing my
if
man
you-
or who's DMing my lady. And you know, fact
Yeah.
is that's the way of life now. And if you don't have that trust, man, you're jacked anyway.
But I feel like if you don't trust somebody enough, they can't ignore like a kiss face emoji, then you might have some deeper issues.
Right?
Yeah, you're not.
Yeah,
point.
and for you and your lady being as exposed as you let yourselves be in front of the camera, there's got to be a shit ton of just
Bro.
trust and you know, your Bad Santa Instagram was hilarious. When you spanked her and she's like, "Ow!" and then
That was great.
she's in pain and you get this huge smile on your face, like you just can't hold it back anymore, and you start laughing. Oh
Dude,
my
we
god!
shot that like 8 or 9 times before we got the good one.
Uh-huh.
The one that you guys see. Like that was like 8 or 9 smacks, and I
Oh,
wasn't
man.
going easy on her.
Yeah, you can see, if you pay attention, you can see like she's starting to flinch a little bit, like her feet are
Yeah.
coming up, like she's
She was,
getting ready for it.
anticipating the smack.
Yeah, for sure.
But she got
That was-
payback. I saw the full ass slap on
Yeah.
your end.
You know what? She did that. She's like, "Let me do this," and then she never said nothing about posting on Instagram though. She did that without telling me, and I was
Oh.
like, "Babe, why would you do that?" She's like, "But you're naked on Instagram anyway." I was like, "You got a point though."
Yeah. So, you know, how is that? Because we talk a lot on the show about really the way we connect with people is vulnerability, which you're doing it because, I mean, you guys are unclothed. And also, you know, the insecurity with the leg situation early on, you know, I mean, that's inspiring. So what kind of feedback do you get? Is it mostly positive from your followers?
Well, on the pizza photo, the greatest, you know, every time the pizza photo gets posted, everybody's like, "Oh, he's got a small dick," and I'm like, "That's like a 8-inch slice of pizza. Like, how big does my limp dick need to be before?" Everybody's like, "I need a whole slice." I'm like, or not a whole slice. I need a whole pizza to cover my junk. Everybody says that. Like, I need a bigger slice. "Oh, bro, he's got a small slice." I'm like, but man, it's just a photo. Like, how
Right.
insecure are you? You got to comment on my dick size.
Good point. Good point.
I will say, just from Instagram stalking you the last few days, you're getting a lot of love though too. There's a lot.
No. Listen, I ain't gonna. It's when the photo gets shared. Nobody on my
Right.
page,
Right.
they don't ever say anything bad, but like it's when it gets shared to like bigger share pages. Like everybody's got to comment.
Right. Yeah, everybody's kind of.
And I think why it's inspirational too is that you are exposed literally and figuratively, and I think you're absolutely right. People who are going to give you a hard time about the pizza slice are missing the entire point of the entire photo, and they're not even worth worrying about anyways. So
What just kind of hit me was what we are very casually talking about, which is him playfully, very kid-like, having fun with his lady naked in front of millions of people. And it just kind of hit me how odd that would be 20 years ago. Just how in my or 40 years ago, my father's generation, how that never would have happened. But because that happened, he's able to move forward, have fun, not be insecure. I mean, I think about if somebody was in his position back then.
But Yoko and Lennon did it, right?
Yeah, I need to wear the same charger.
I suppose. But you have to look at the position that they were in.
No, I get
the
it.
average everyday person who might have had that insecurity wasn't allowed to just be playful with it.
Indeed. Yeah, absolutely. So real quick, because anybody listening that might not be familiar, I will share this photo. I'll use it to kind of help push the show. But when it comes down to that photo, what was the history of that? Were you guys just on set and you had pizza from catering and it's like, toss me a friggin' slice, and you're like, oop, gotta hide this little guy? Is that how it was? Because that's totally the way it'd have been for me. I mean, I would
actually,
absolutely
we had just got these socks sent to us, and they were pizza pepperoni socks or whatever. Matter of fact, I don't even know if I'm wearing or I don't know. Anyway, she was like, dude, we should do something with pizza. So we went to Little Caesars and got like 2 large pizzas.
Pizza. Of
took
course
a
you
bunch
did.
of different kind of photos, and like that was the one that just went crazy. So
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, no wonder it did. It's such a great photo, like overall. And I love the fact that it was kind of a fluke. That's what I was hoping for. I was hoping it wasn't some big planned thing.
Super planned. We knew we were going to do something with pizza, but that wasn't like we didn't expect that would be the turnout.
But I think it's other times we've talked on this show about people who just do things and are genuinely enjoying themselves, genuinely doing what they should be doing with their lives, who are happy, content. It comes through in those pictures. And I think that's one of the things I liked about the picture the most is that you came through in that picture of just totally being who you were in that moment and just loving life. And that's what I think connects with everybody.
Yeah. Hold on a second. There we go. Sorry. I was trying. My charger was not working.
No worries. No worries. No, not even a technical difficulty at this point. Yeah, no worries at all.
Yeah, nothing like the last one.
So,
No, but I agree. I think, and we ate that pizza after we were done. But
heck yeah.
Good for you.
no pizza go to waste. I need my games.
Yes. Well, you know what? Speaking of that, like going back to the fitness a little bit, you mentioned meal prep earlier. I mean, obviously you have to keep yourself looking at the level you're at or better because you can't regress. What's your food intake like? What's that look like every week? I mean, are you a Sunday food prepper for the week? Is that how it works? Or
Heidi and I usually meal prep like every 4 days just because I like to keep my food more fresh because if I leave something in the fridge for a week, by the time I get to that last meal, I'm just like, like, look, it's plain chicken and rice again. Yum.
Right. Yeah. So what do you guys stick with?
Well, I like. We recently just started using a lot of ground chicken. I like ground chicken and ground bison and steak and yams, potatoes, rice, quinoa, eggs, lots of eggs.
Gotta have that protein.
Bread, all that stuff.
Do you ever find yourself, or when you're doing your meal prep and you're thinking about nutrition and working out, does it ever sneak in your head that, oh man, this is just getting a little overwhelming and I feel like I have to do it for somebody else? Does that ever sneak into your head, or is it still just you're doing it for you, period?
Yeah, I'm mostly doing it for myself. Because I'll tell you this, me as an amputee and my personality, it's super easy for me to get lazy. And if I don't got something that I'm doing that's going to keep me occupied, I'll just be lazy. So the fitness holds me accountable, like get up, eat right, go to the gym, and then do everything else you got to do, just like everybody else in the world has to do,
Right. I just have a hard time just even imagining him being lazy.
I tell you what, man, Homicide Hunter and Forensic Files, those are my jam. I watch those all day if I had
Nice. Forensic Files is actually what I watch when I do my cardio on the treadmill.
Dude, I love Forensic Files.
So
And
the
Homicide,
best.
So glad it's coming. New season coming. Oh, Vikings. I like Vikings.
Oh,
nice.
yeah,
Vikings
Vikings
is good.
badass.
Yeah.
In
see-
fact, you just posted what is it? The axe in the there was a Viking picture that basically said, "Don't wait on the gods to
Hey.
give you everything. Make your own destiny." It was, I'm paraphrasing, but it was badass.
Nice. Got some puppy dogs hanging out with you?
Yeah, my dogs are going crazy. I think someone just got here.
Oh, it's all good. We won't keep you for too much longer. We
Oh.
promise.
You're good.
Awesome. What were you gonna say, Shane? Do you have something?
No, I mean, I wish I. Now I kind of feel like a dumbass because I wish I would have had that visual and written down the quote because
Because now it's less cool.
yeah, it's less cool now.
That's the story of my life right there, man.
Less cool.
Yeah.
See, that's a hashtag shirt right there.
Yeah.
Hashtag less cool, right?
I'm about to hashtag that on my next Instagram post.
Make that
That's
happen.
cool.
Less cool. Well, see, who was it? Mike Smith, another dude you should look up, talked about how he was everything. So, what was some of his things? I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
God, it was so killer.
But he just embraces the
Right.
portion and just applies it to every word because
Yeah.
he doesn't want to be put into a box.
Right.
No labels.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I equally should have researched that and
Yeah.
made it cool.
Now you're as uncool,
equally uncool as you.
equally as uncool.
Nice.
We're in a group now though.
Indeed.
We're all uncool.
I'm gonna stay over here and be cool.
All right.
I hope that's okay. My bad.
But you're not cool because you're the only cool one in the uncool group.
There you go.
Indeed.
Got to be a loner, don't you?
Gotta be
By
a loner.
by default, still uncool. So, when it comes down to it, man, what, for our listeners, for people, for people who are going through challenges, to me, an amputation seems almost insurmountable, but you obviously are killing it. So, it almost is kind of like a meh. Yeah, I lost a leg. I'm cool though. I model. I work out. Whatever. But what's your advice for people who are facing, what's seeming like endless mountains to climb or big challenges? What do you got to say?
One step at a time, man. One step at a time. That mountain, hey, Everest is the tallest mountain in the world, and people still made it to the top of it. Marianas Trench was the deepest trench in the world, and we still made it to the bottom of it. We made it to the fucking moon. If we can make it to the moon, you can get out of bed in the morning and do something. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Maybe some of the best advice. We always get such great quotable stuff on this show. That friggin' rules. So, should we move into the Fast Five?
Let's
Yeah.
move into
Yeah.
the Fast Five.
All right. So every show we do this thing we call the Fast Five, right? And
Okay.
it's just basically I'll rattle off some questions, simple things, and kind of just word vomit. Let me know what comes right off the top of your head. You down with that?
All right, I'll do my best.
I'm gonna
All right.
I'm gonna underline what I think you're gonna say, and
Nice.
then I'm gonna
you gonna
maybe
score yourself here?
I'm gonna bet you money.
Oh, wait, what are we betting? Because now you
Let me
just
get-
what's that?
Let me get in on this. I got $1.
Got $1 that it's against my choice. Is that the deal?
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be fun if it was like, hey.
Okay.
if
Well,
we agree.
all right. Well, if we're playing the game, give me a second. I'm underlining stuff here.
All right.
Let's see here. All right. So here we go. Fast Five:
right.
RoboCop or Terminator.
Terminator.
Boom.
Yep. Well, I had that too,
Swallow
though.
it.
I had
Oh.
it.
So do I.
Arnold
I had-
Schwarzenegger all the way.
Totally.
All
Well,
right.
that's totally where I was at, but I was also like, does it drive you nuts that people refer to individuals who use prosthetics as like bionic and, stuff like that?
Enhanced.
Yeah, exactly. How do you
I
feel
wouldn't
about
say
that?
enhanced is a good word I would use to describe an amputation, but I would say bionic. That's kind of like not true because it's not really bionic. It's not hooked to me. In any way other
Cyborg.
than just on my leg, you know.
Yeah. A cybernetic organism.
Yeah, I wish.
Well, it's starting. Steve Hayworth is knocking out the was it North Sense, where it's a silicone implant similar to what I have in my hands, and anytime you turn north, it buzzes, so you always know direction. Pretty
Whoa,
sweet.
that's awesome.
Yeah, check it out. Steve Hayworth is an amazing body modification artist, and it's
That'd
called
be handy.
North Sense. What's that?
It'd be handy for some of the lieutenants I was with in the army.
It'd
No,
be great
they would
for
still
me.
get lost. They would still get lost.
All right, so I think you answered this earlier, but I'm going to toss it out anyway. Carnivore, vegetarian, or vegan?
Carnivore.
Totally.
Yeah.
As fuck.
AF. Nice. Yeah.
I'm
When you're talking food prep,
I'm
it's
batting
kinda
1,000 so far.
Well, I so am I though, so
All
no
right.
no dollars.
It's
getting
hard to
tossed
talk
around.
crap when we're both batting 1,000.
All right.
Sai, how you doing over there?
I'm the same. So
All right.
Nice.
All right.
All right.
I'm
So
gonna pull away on this one.
diving into the music realm a little bit here, Metallica or Megadeth?
Metallica or Megadeth. Oh,
You got to pick one.
Slayer.
Oh, that's a win.
Oh!
Yeah, I'm down with that. Like Slayer all the way.
Well, you didn't write down Slayer.
I didn't, but the fact that he just broke the rules makes him
All right.
cool.
Well, yeah, that's a
That's metal,
a given.
right?
That's a
That's
given.
how it's
All right.
done. Slayer, because Slayer, of course. Holy crap.
All right. I even wrote in this next answer for you.
Okay.
Ah, nice.
Yeah. There's no multiple choice over here, but I'm just gonna. I think I know what you're gonna say.
I'm curious.
Go ahead.
All right.
Ask him.
One piece of advice you would give your 18-year-old self.
It gets better.
Nice.
That's a good piece of advice.
Nice.
I had put get up and move your ass.
You know what? That's kind of the same thing.
Oh!
Kind of the same thing. It gets better. Get up, move your ass. It's only going to get better if you get up and move your ass.
Right.
Thank you.
All
See,
right.
I needed to say that so that you could validate my answer so that I could move ahead.
Yeah, I think it's. Yeah, I think it's because you just need validated. Period.
That's it all the time.
Right.
I think that I need to go out and have photo shoots with him with pizza.
I want to see that.
I think that would be a hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I just need a couple months to get ready.
try 6.
Or 6 months. Thanks,
Wait,
Si.
because that was just brought up, do we, in order to promote this said show, do we just need to order a pizza right now and drop trow for the promo photo for this particular show?
Oh,
think that-
I kind of like
You can do
that.
the hear no evil, see no evil pizza thing.
That would be unbelievable. I love the pizza on the ears. Like, that's all
And then
you.
Right on the face and then in the mouth.
Love it. Yeah, we just may
It's a
have
good
to
idea.
have to kick that out. That's great.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, so last of the 5. I'm still stuck on Slayer. Like, best answer ever. I mean, seriously. Last thing, where can people find out more information on you, your lady, on the band, everything you got going on? Where's the best place?
Instagram and Facebook. My Instagram is James_M_Ramsey. Band is Boudica Official, BOUDICAOFFICIAL. And then my Facebook is just James M. Ramsey. And then the band's Facebook is Boudica Metal. Just search Boudica Metal and it should come up.
Excellent. Anything major on the horizon that you want to plug or talk a little bit about? Any cool photo shoots you get to do in 17? Anything you're allowed to talk about? Maybe it's super secret.
I might be on a billboard. I'm shooting for a billboard thing on Monday for around Portland. So,
Nice. That's
yeah.
pretty cool. Are you originally from the Portland area?
Yep, born here.
Wow. So that's got to be pretty intense. I mean, I'm sure you remember growing up looking at billboards and all the other advertising, and now it gets to be your face or your ass
Yeah,
or whatever. I don't know.
We came from over there and now we're here,
Yeah, that's intense. Holy shit. I'm a little jealous. I need a billboard, damn it. I'll have to probably buy it and do it myself.
The end of February, my band's going to Eugene, Tahoe, and Sacramento. And then we're doing a spring tour to LA and back, and then we're doing a summer tour to New Jersey and back. So
Heck yeah.
Will
if
you hit
cruise
spot?
across
Will you
the
hit
Midwest.
spots through the Midwest?
I'm not sure of the route yet, but like I said, if I'll get your guys' studio info, and if we hit somewhere close, we'll stop in.
Totally. Yeah, I'm a huge show goer. So if
Yeah, me
you
too.
are anywhere, remotely local, we'll show up. I love club
And
shows.
if not, we need to go out to the East Coast anyway.
That's
to
true.
meet some of our friends to do some follow-ups. So
Yeah.
maybe we'll catch your show in New Jersey.
That would be
Indeed.
awesome. I'll get
For
you guys the tour dates, or I'll be posting them soon anyway.
Yeah, yeah,
That would be
definitely
great.
following.
That'd be great.
Go ahead.
And keep doing your fitness pictures and workout videos, because they're super inspiring, not only to people that may have a disability, but they're super inspiring to me. I know when I was at work today and I was watching you, I was like, why the fuck am I just sitting here watching this? I can at least get up and move around a little bit, because if this guy can do it, I can do it. And I want to get back to, well, maybe not your level. But that would be
A
nice.
level.
That would be nice. A level.
Right.
Are you saying I'm sub level?
No,
I'm
that
in the
came out-
basement?
that came out really bad. I'm sorry. Hugs, man.
No. You stay over
Yeah,
there.
man. I tell you guys though, it's like it's so nice to hear that, like, you guys are inspired and all that stuff, and I'm glad that, my stupid Instagram helps that. Like, it's actually used for something, which is good. It's not just like, look at my butt or whatever.
Right.
I'm glad it's actually helping people, and that's I like helping people, and I like seeing people succeed in their goals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Who did all your ink, by the way? Because whoever did all your ink did a fantastic job.
I got my sleeves. Well, I got this whole left sleeve in Italy, and I got on my right sleeve, I got half of it done in Italy, and the other half I got done out here in Portland, and I got my back done in Portland.
Nice.
Yep, and my neck also in Portland.
Intense, man. Neck sucks. Was that the worst for you? It was terrible for me.
Dude, I hate it. I started my ribs before I started my back piece, and my back piece has been done for like
Right.
years, and I still have outlines on my ribs. Like,
Yeah. I have literally 6 inches going from my armpit down to my thighs that's still open. Like, my whole front's done, my whole back's done, but not that 6 inches. Just this
Dude.
much completely clear, because, God, it sucks.
oh, it sucks so bad. Actually, I'm getting my hand tattooed in Pasadena. What's the date? It's a Golden State Tattoo Expo on the 27th. I'll be out there, and I'll be getting my hand tattooed. So.
Nice. What are you doing, if you don't mind me asking? The
Oh,
design.
just going out there to hang out.
And what's the design on your hand?
Oh, sorry.
No, it's good.
I don't know yet. My buddy, he's gonna do it for me, so he's just drawing a design.
Trust.
And
Awesome.
yeah, I trust him. He's a good tattooer. So
That's the way
and
to
I
do
hear
it.
that the palm of your hand is very,
Yeah, it's terrible.
very great.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have your
I
palm?
do the
can't
palm of
even
your hand?
imagine. I don't have anything on the palm.
Oh, dude, I did both of mine. It was absolutely terrible.
Glutton for punishment.
Ah, it sucks. You'll get there, man. You start running out of space. You just start doing it. 'Cause do you,
I look forward to running out of space.
yeah, it starts to suck the longer you sit, right? What's your longest
Dude.
sit time?
Well, I did my whole back. I did the outline and all the black in 2 sittings.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's rough, man. That's rough.
Yeah.
I
It was terrible.
why we do this to ourselves, I
Yeah, and it
question
doesn't
that
get
still.
any easier as you get older. And
No.
anybody who comes up to me is like, "Oh, I love your tattoos. I'm covered," and they show me their tattoos and they're like, "It didn't hurt at all." And I was like, "That's just because you don't have that many tattoos. That's
Right. Right. Yeah, it's
sit for
rough.
8 hours and then come and tell me it don't hurt no more."
Hmm. Exactly. Well, we don't want to keep you too long, man. We really appreciate your time. And to Shane's point, like, the reason we wanted you on this show is because you do inspire people. Your Instagram is inspiring. What you're doing is inspiring. What your lady's doing for confidence is for women is inspiring. And also from a relationship standpoint,
Yeah.
to see 2 people supporting one another, helping one another grow, and really, like, honestly promoting one another's best qualities and assets is super inspiring. Like, if I were to go back to any junior high school right now, they'd be screaming goals all day long, because that's totally what it is. So thank you very much. And again, a lot of times, it's like teens all the way through adults that listen to the show. And I know that we're going to hit the nail on the head for a lot of these people who are struggling with themselves and their self-image and stuff. So thank you very much for just being you and doing what you do. It's awesome.
Oh, thank you, man. And, I appreciate you guys having me on the show. Love to do this again one of these days. And to everybody out there listening, thanks for tuning in. And, get after it. It ain't going to do it itself,
Yep,
Hell
one
yes.
step at a
Awesome.
time. I'll be looking forward to episode number 2 with you, James.
Yes, definitely.
Me too. That'd be awesome.
We'll
Yeah,
make it happen,
you
man.
should.
Thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure.
Have a good night, James.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Thank
ya.
you. And per usual, dude.
It never gets old.
No, it doesn't.
It never gets old talking to somebody who just inspires the shit out of you, and it's very shocking. I do anyway. I shouldn't talk for you or Cy, but I
don't
get
talk for me,
very
never.
used to my life, right? I just get into this routine, and if you don't open yourself up to meeting new people, you don't open yourself up to be inspired by new people. And when you get inspired, you take a closer look at yourself and you realize, I'm fine, but I could be so much more.
Right.
And it doesn't take that much to be so much more. It takes one step, another step.
And for me, what I get from that too is that I can just be who I am and just keep trying. Just keep trying to be who you are. Don't try to be something somebody else expects you to be or what, somebody wants you to be. Just be who you are, and you will find those people that accept you.
Right.
You'll find that path, that real, true, authentic path that we've talked about so much recently. And he really personifies that. I know we all get I get caught up in the, just not giving a rat's ass.
A rat's
A
ass.
rat's
What's
ass?
that?
A rat's
A
ass.
rap's crass? What? I don't know.
It's a rat's
A
ass.
crap's wrath?
Not giving a rat's ass.
There you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
about what somebody else thinks. But I think that that's easier said than done. But you get to a point where if you start, I think we've seen enough people on this show that it really, even more of a mirror in my face going, do what you want to do. Be happy. Find that thing that makes you be that genuine person,
Well, I think the more haters you have, honestly, the more likely it is you're doing something right, especially local haters. Because,
Really?
yes, absolutely. Like, you could be
You
a
see-
rock star all over the world, but locally, you're still that douchebag kid that worked at the grocery store. I mean, no joke.
You could have people that are nearby you feeling stagnant. They
Yep.
don't even realize that they're stagnant, and they're looking at you going, what are you doing?
But
Why do you think
I know
you're
where
all that?
from? Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
No.
I know what you came from. You're still nothing. It's like,
Oh,
but
okay.
you also get the people who said you were nothing, and then you reach a certain status, and they're like, I knew him when. And then
okay.
there's the hangers on. They're like, yeah, they want the glory, but they don't want to support you in the work because it was a stupid vision, right?
Initially, right?
Yeah. But what I love about James is, to your point, he was just doing what he did. Dude calls him like, hey, 100 followers. He's like, I'm nobody, but he was just doing what he did. That's what's so inspiring. And the other part too is like when we talked about Boudica a little bit, like that's not Metallica, but he doesn't give a shit.
Right.
He's hitting the road. He's going to be duct taping shoes. He's going to be wailing on his freaking guitar and doing what he does. But on the other hand, he could just model more, make money, have bank and chill. But he's not. He wants more. He wants his passion. He wants to thrive.
He wants his passion.
And I
yeah.
love that.
Yeah, to me, there's nothing contrived.
No.
Yeah.
There's so many times you can have a social media icon, right, who they know how to work or game the system. They know what kind of image they want to put out there for their viewers, right?
Right.
Whereas he's just living his life, being himself, being playful,
Right.
keeping it playful, and taking some photos, and it booms because people see the authenticity of it
Yeah.
and the happiness and the joy that he's sharing with his partner, and that's what is attractive about it.
Right.
That's what draws you in, and I just keep wanting to scroll pictures because, one, I want to fucking zoom in and check out his tats a little bit more because they look really sick, especially his one on his back.
Man
but-
crush.
We've had a lot of man crushes recently.
I know.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm inspired.
It's
Inspired by
just
people.
teasing.
Yeah.
It's good. It's
Yeah.
good. To be honest, the secret here is that Simon and I both have a man crush on you, so maybe we're a little jealous.
I knew it.
The whole time.
The whole
the
time.
whole time he knew it.
All right, so we'll wrap this up, but huge thanks to James, and hopefully we get Heidi on because
I'd
at
say
this
a huge
point,
thanks to Heidi because
Yeah.
she's part of the reason why he's she supports him.
Yeah,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean? That's what it's all about.
well, and we had Yeti and YOLO, and we did draw that comparison. I think we should have Heidi on maybe separately, and then give her story, and then maybe we do a part 2 with
With them
both of them.
together.
Together,
Which
Oh,
would be
that's a
cool.
That's a good idea. I like
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be great. That'd be a lot of fun.
that, for sure.
For sure. But yeah, big thanks to both of them for helping out and hanging out with us. But Sai, what's going on? What's next? What's new?
Well, you can go to tpsmedia.co and you can follow us on Facebook and you can follow us on Twitter and you can follow the show on YouTube. And while you're there, make sure you like and subscribe, comment. You want to make sure that you give us some kind of feedback. I love having good feedback where I can really kind of like say, oh, I really hate that person, or oh, that was really nice. I like them a lot.
Right.
Go to tpsmedia.co and that's the best way to follow us and see what we're doing here at the company, at least.
Yeah.
And sir, would
For
you like
me?
to elaborate?
Yeah, sure. I mean, when you go to tpsmedia.co, now our website is under development. You can still go through it and stuff, but it's not exactly its final form yet. But you can contact us. There's
Liquid.
a contact.
It's liquid.
It's liquid right now. It's flowing.
Got it.
Fluid.
Evolution. No.
It's just
Okay.
like
All right.
it's almost like gender fluid. You're just
All right.
easy all over the place.
All right.
Anyway.
Anyway.
You can go to TPS Media and check us out. We do create podcasts. We do direct audiobooks. So if you're an author and you would like an audiobook made of your creation, go to tpsmedia.co. Contact us. You can also actually go to the audiobook tab, scroll down, click on the narrator tab, and listen to our male voices that we have and our female voices that we have of narrators, because they're all very talented and wonderful, and I guarantee you we have somebody that will fit your project. So that's it. I mean, for us, for me.
How about
Nice.
you, Joshua?
I'll be hitting the road here. I'll be in Vegas and Phoenix, bringing smiles to those cities with my man Shane here doing some videography and filming it up. Yeah, me right here.
Right.
Yeah.
And hopefully we're gonna have a lot of dialogue in the car this time.
Yeah, we got a
Recorded.
lot of good things coming. We're really gonna dive into behind the scenes stuff. You'll get to really know me more, which might be a little scary. I don't know. Sorry to anyone who may watch that. Also hitting up some schools at the end of the month, kind of getting into the end of year run with high schools for the Manners and Motivation event. So teachers, counselors, students, parents, if you need somebody awesome to come inspire your students, let me know. JoshuaCoburn.com. Love to help you out. Otherwise, got some
I got one more thing.
Yeah, shoot. What?
Don't forget that we will be promoting live shows. So if there might be a show that we do for Wellraiser Radio that we don't have a guest, but we will
That's
be
right.
doing a live Facebook show where we're going to be taking comments from viewers from Josh's Facebook account. So if you are a person that has some issues with anything at all, if you want to ask us questions about guests that we've had on, or societal issues, or self-esteem
80s
issues,
pop culture.
80s pop culture,
Whatever.
anything at all, you have some questions about Breakfast Club,
Yes.
16 Candles,
Wow.
I may be your man.
Yeah.
So look for that. We will be promoting that stuff because I want to engage.
Yeah, I'm
we
ready
want
for
to
that too. That'll
bring
be a lot
our
of fun.
viewers into the show with us.
Faux show.
Oh, show.
Faux show. So yeah, all that's happening. Plus, we got some other really super cool guests I'm excited about having on the show coming up as well on Wellraiser Radio. But yeah, and if you have anybody you'd like to see on the show, hit me up on social media or any of these guys too. We'll do some research, see if we can grab them. No promises, but we'll try. But otherwise, here on Wellraiser Radio, there's
No judgment.
Just kindness.
Take care, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy. Laters. That was fun.